All right, you radio truth seekers. If you read the groups on the radio, BC 314 or BC 348, people will tell you, change the six K7s to let's see what these uh, 6S7. Okay, so a lot of people shoot from the hip. They'll tell you get more signal if you take out the 6K7s and put in 6S7s. Now, I always like to check that out whenever I read something like that. Now, with the National NC57s, I found a tube myself that made the radio work better. One of the guys in the comment mentioned another tube, which is a $30 tube, but whoever owned the radio before me figured out changing this one tube, or possibly the RF tube and the first IF with this one tube, and I demonstrated it to you. Now, right now, this radio is heating up, and it's on the station I barely get, but don't forget, I'm still coming out of the headphone jack with a transformer and a speaker, so it's going to be a little low, but I'll turn it up enough so you'll hear it. Okay? Now, another thing I want to mention is it's not on automatic volume control. It's on manual volume control. That means if I increase the gain of the two RF tubes, or put two new tubes in, or two different tubes in, and the gain goes up, you'll hear it. If we leave it on AVC, we would need a meter on the circuit, which means nothing. I always tell you, if an improvement can be heard across the room, it's an improvement. If you have to have a scope on it, or some type of meter, that doesn't count. All right, so now we're going to turn this sound up, and you got to calibrate your ears. All right, I'm now going to pull the power off. All right, I disconnected the B+. I'm now going to replace the first RF and the second RF with this new old stock 6S7 tube, which has a cap on the top. I'll show you if I ever get it out of the box. This cap is not the plate, it's the grid. Television tubes, when they have a cap on it like this, that's high voltage. That's the plate, that's not the grid. All right, this is the grid. So now you squeeze the little thing on it, and the clip comes off. You unplug the tube. There we go. The old tube out. A little bit warm, not too warm. All right, now we put this one in. All right, it's in. Let me make sure. Put the grid cap back on. Then we do, come on. You know, you always guarantee something going wrong when you do a video. Second RF. It's warm. It's been running. All right, next, one more tube. I should do a video. These are Westinghouse tubes, by the way, and they're brand new. They're new old stock. They weren't made yesterday. They're probably made about 70 years ago. And people think tubes are worth a lot of money. They're not. Tubes basically were overmade. They kept making them even though nobody was buying them anymore. RCA made tubes. I left there in 1975, something like that, before they closed down. They closed down like a year and a half later. But we were still making tubes for other countries. And the warehouses in the United States were told, you'll need this amount of tubes, and then all of a sudden people stopped buying tube sets. So all these warehouses were stuck with a lot of tubes. All right, now we have the tubes that are supposed to make it really work better. And if it does work better, you'll hear it. All right, plug it in. Do, 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 do. Didn't touch the volume. Oh, made a little bit of noise. Okay, we have a bad tube. All right, we'll swap them out. I bought 3 tubes, so I can do a swap. All right, let me find the third tube. Wouldn't it be funny if it didn't work at all? 3 tubes I'll never use. All right. You know, a wire could have fell off. The wire comes out to the grid. It might have broke underneath. You know, when you do a video, almost anything can go wrong. Bad tube. All right, we'll take the first RF tube out. Make sure I got it unplugged. I don't want to be screaming on camera. All right, this feels warm, so the heater worked. All right, put this one here, and now we take this one out and put this one in where that one goes. And if that don't make it work, we put the 2 other tubes back in. Now on the group they said, oh, you have to adjust the tuning capacitors because changing the tube will change the capacitance. Now, we should have heard something. All right, here we go. Still nothing. See, this is the part of the sweat that Edison mentioned when you do testing. All right, we officially say those tubes don't do anything. All right, we got to go back now. Scientific method. We have to take those 2 new tubes out, put the 2 old ones back in, and you know, wire could have broke off underneath. Right here, this wire here goes to underneath. No, it is possible. All right, so we took the two S7s, 6 S7s out, and we're going to put back in the original tubes, which are 6 K7s. That's why I tell you, you can't always trust what you think. And the other thing too is sometimes when you change a tube and it works in the same spot, you might have to add a jumper underneath. All right. I don't remember turning the volume down. Right, I just pulled the plug out. I could have messed up. You know, I'm getting nah. All right. All right, let's just put one in, since both tubes do work. See, this is the stuff I go through. This is why I get so upset with people when they try to bullshit me, because I've been down the road. You know, like guy saying, well, you got to change the capacitance. And that would be right here. One of these would get adjusted. I'm in the frame. You have to adjust these. All right, make sure I get the right tube. We're going in position 1, RF position 1. All right, there's one. Plug it in. Okay, so these tubes are either both bad, or they're not a substitute, or they need some kind of jumper. This will be continued maybe in the next video. I think that's it. All right. Oh boy, that was it.